Alright guys, today I will be doing a hairpin for a friend of mine at bowling. She has requested that we do a cross in a few different shades of green. So, as you can see, I'm going to be using a craft aid for this. I suck at drawing. I have to have a pattern or I don't do for crap. Now, these craft aids are fairly simple to use. All they are is a piece of plastic with little ridges on one side. The way I was taught to use them is to soak your leather pretty decent. Lay out the pattern you're going to do. And then use your trusty spoon, smooth side. And just press it into the leather really well. It's kind of like using your stylus. It does the same thing. It pushes the pattern into the leather. I might be going a little overzealous, but I like to make sure my pattern is deeply imprinted into the leather when using these craft aids. Just trying to get them to lay out again is a total pain in the rump. Let me bring that closer so you can see it. There, see? Came out really detailed. Okay, I'm going to break out my swivel knife. I'm going to go over that real quick with the strop.
So before we eat, I thought it would be nice if we went around and shared what we were grateful for or any other feelings that we might want to share.
I just went over this with a stone just recently too, so it's fairly sharp.
Okay, I'll go first. I am grateful for everything.
Now, I want to point some things out about this swivel knife. This piece right here is called a saddle, and you sit your finger in there like that, and then you pinch the base between your middle finger and thumb. That way you can swivel wherever you need to swivel.
Oh, sorry guys, I'll turn it off. Oh, it's James. Sorry, I'll make it quick.
Push it in a little bit and then draw it back towards you. Remember to stop just before your cut, or before the end of your cut, so you don't overlap.
I wasn't calling you once you were. Nope. Calling my friend Cara. She has to referee between her sister and her foster mom. So thought maybe you'd like to hear a friendly voice.
Yours always. How are you?
Yeah, you know. Pampered, stuffed, a little bored.
Oh, I'm sorry, there are no supervillains in Ohio.
The guy can help, right?
Let me adjust my light a little bit here. You can both see what I'm doing.
Have a wonderful time with Lucy.
Zoom in a little more.
So, Eliza, you are a scientist. That's cool.
Well, scientist
scientist is a general term, dear. I am a bioengineer. Alex is in the same field. You know, I guess being a lab rat, it runs in the family.
There's something that I have to tell you.
Okay. Is everything all right?
When I was at Stanford, I was doing research in genetic engineering. And my work and connection to Kara became under scrutiny. And I was recruited by the government. I'm not just a doctor. I'm an operative for an organization called the DEO. We monitor aliens.
Alright guys, Buster decided he wanted to come back in, so I'm going to pause this and go let him in, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back.
Do holidays, so I mean, even with all the nuttiness of yours, I'm just grateful to have been included. So what I'm grateful for is you.
Alright, I'm finishing up cutting the outline, then I'm going to work my way towards the center. One little piece at a time.
4 days with James, all to myself. All a girl can ask for. Back to the grind.
If your swivel knife is extremely sharp,
Bye.
it'll cut through this leather effortlessly.
Of course. But how about Kara? How's she doing?
I'm glad to have you back. The photo department's been calling about the paparazzi shots from over the weekend of the young stars and starlets compromised in assorted, humiliating ways. Monday morning tradition? What? Which one would you pick? The 20-year-old singer who face-planted in front of Club Apocalypse because she had too much to drink? Or the closeted teen heartthrob who was caught slipping out of National City's randiest gay bar? Wait, who's... Let's run... neither. The world is full of so much noise and snark, much of it we generate. Today, why don't we elevate the city's level of discourse instead with a photo essay of all the people who spent their holidays volunteering in soup kitchens and shelters? Let's not see if we can't bring some attention to those organizations. I think that's a great idea. Well, of course you do. I pitched it. Thanksgiving sells. Liberals love to feel guilty, so let's just squeeze as much juice out of those turkeys as we can. And Kira.
I just realized my TV is a little loud. Let me
Tell me about your parents dying.
pause that. Alright, here we go. Back to work. If I remember to, at the end of this video, I'll introduce you guys to Buster. My lifesaver, as it were. Alright, let me explain the reason why I have Buster as a service animal. As some of you are aware, I am a combat veteran. I served in Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2004 through 2005. I did some things that I am not exactly proud of. But I did follow orders. So those memories of what I did give me nightmares and some pretty nasty side effects for other things as well. Like suicidal ideations. I'm not going to go into details what I did because I don't need to horrify you guys with those things. Nor do I want to relive them anytime soon. I know there are other veterans out there that deal with the stressors of combat related PTSD, and my heart goes out to them for what they had to go through, and I consider each and every one of them my brothers and sisters. I also want to thank you guys for the support that you give me, and for the support that you give others like me. So I really, really appreciate everything you guys do. It's not the big things that help, it's the little things. For example, the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, during Ting Ting's live feed, Jeff mentioned me, or that would be Drayson's Forge, to Ting Ting about me wanting to buy one of his hammers, and that I am also a veteran. I wasn't sure if Ting Ting caught that, but I did catch that some of the other people that were watching his feed as well thanked him for mentioning me. I am also going to say thank you to Tim at Big Dog's Forge for serving serving before me, so that I might serve after him.
Like I said, I'm not feeling good. My mind is just...
It is a true inspiration to see other people in this craft that have served our great nation.
The car's breaking down. Not mine.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Ting Ting, for answering my question about the wax in the cup for your drift punch. I found it concise and to the point.
Nope. Oh no.
Also, there are 1.5 more days before I get to order my forge. I'm also ordering a set of flat nose. Alright, I'm sorry guys, I had to stop for a second there. Where was I? I don't even remember what I was saying. I am sorry. Oh, lordy. I don't remember what I was saying. It'll come to me eventually. And I apologize for the background noise. That was one of my roommates getting a little overzealous with one of her games. Coincidentally, she was the one that did the live feed for the video last week, and I am extremely thankful that she was able to do that for us. As you can see, I'm moving at a pretty good clip here. The leather's starting to dry out, so I'm going to have to get it wet again. Also, when you're using your swivel knife, make sure it's at a 90-degree angle to the cutting surface. You don't want any angled cuts into your leather, otherwise it don't compact very well. Oh. You notice I'm not trying to go really fast. Because if you go really fast, you might miss your turn or undercut your something or overcut it. Eventually I'm going to have a more ergonomic swivel knife, as this one has a tendency to hurt the hand after a while. When making corners, you want to do small itty bitty cuts before you do any turning. They can be quite tedious. A couple more lines to do and I'm done with the cutting part. I've got one here, and then this one here. Oops. Also this summer I plan on building a shop for my leather and metalsmithing. That way I can get it out of the house and out of my room. This way it's not taking up so much space. Alright, all the cutting is done. Now I'm going to go over the inside portions because I'm going to cut out on this outer line with an X-Acto knife. I'm going to do the beveling with a 701 for most of the major lines. For some of the smaller ones, I'm going to drop down to that really fine 98 that I have, which is this one right here. I mean, you see it's got a fairly steep angle to it compared to the 701. I don't have a whole lot of tools right now due to funding, but I am slowly building up my tool repertoire. One little piece at a time. Oh wait, that's the name of a Johnny Cash song. One piece at a time. I'm sorry, I can't sing very well when I'm just dinking around. I used to be able to sing pretty well, and then I started smoking. Beveling the lines in the manner that I am adds a level of texture to them that is just stands out to no end. Let's take a break from this for a minute. I'm going to scoot this off to the side. Bring you up here to me. So I don't forget. Alright guys, this is Buster. He's a personally trained service animal that, according to the law, you can train yourself as long as you go and have him certified, or have your service animal certified at some time. Doesn't say when, and it usually takes roughly a year and a half to 3 years to train a service animal. And he does really well. I mean, I can snap my fingers and to gain his attention. And 90% of his commands are all dual commands. I mean, you can give them to him either verbally or visually. We're still working on some others yet. He hasn't quite gotten the concept of stay, but he does pretty good. Give me hugs. Good boy. Alright, we go. Good boy. No, get out of the way. Yes, you're a good boy, Buster. He is a Jack Russell Terrier that I rescued from an abusive home. And if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't be here today. Well, him and some other reasons that know who they are. I am very grateful to Buster and those people that remind me there are things worth living for. I find that leathersmithing and metalsmithing have some things in common. If you try to rush and do it half-ass, your project tends to come out looking like complete and utter dog shit. And the more you do it, the better you get, the more stuff you learn about how leather acts very similar to metal when you're trying to compact it. So when I get my forge up and running, I should have a fairly rhythmic pattern when it comes to my hammering. Unlike metal, however, leather, when it compacts, kind of takes on its own color, which I find pretty cool. Nor does it move quite the same. Now, I will only be doing these outer lines around and around these bigger sections here with the 701. I'll be moving to the 98 when I get more towards the center, and this larger knot piece, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure quite what it's called. Decorative interior. There we go. That's a good description of it. Whoops. Wrong way.
That's what I said last night. It wasn't on. I went to go fix the
Dang it.
What are you trying to get?
Oop, dried out on me. Just so you guys are aware, it is a balmy 19 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa. And we got some of that stuff no one wants that fell outside on the ground today. Where I am originally from is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and some of us would consider that word, or that acronym, a curse word. Unless you have these little nifty machines that people like to go play with on them. Or I should say out in it on them. I, however, am not one. Used to be as a kid, but not anymore. I won't use the acronym, but I will, however, describe the machine for you. It has 2 skis in the front and a track in the back, and a fairly powerful engine up front. If you can't tell what that machine is, that's on you. I refuse to mention it by name. And if you do mention it in the comments section of this video, and you do make it to Quad State, and I happen to make it to Quad State, I will find you, and I will wash your mouth out with a bar of soap.
No.
That word is a curse word in my household. Don't believe me? Ask my roommates. They use it. I chase them with a bar of Dove dish bars. Yeah, bath soap. Oh lordy. Alright, I'm going to finish up this line here. I'm going to take a break and get something to eat. My stomach is telling me it's time to eat, so. Alright, I'll see you after I get something to eat, guys.